what we are going to take in the measure phase, and how important it is when you use the project charter and SIPOC in capturing your project wise. What is why? From this end to that end, I want to reduce the cycle time, I want to reduce the cost, or from this end to that end, I want to improve the customer satisfaction. All these things becomes your why. I want to increase the throughput time, I want to increase my production rate of output of the cups, etc., or the output of the cars manufactured in a particular shift. That all becomes your why. So your measures to bring in what are the measures you will be really looking in has to fall in two ways. It should be effective, it should be efficient. How you will make it effective? Effective measure is how well a process meets the requirements. For example, did I correctly give the answer to an incoming call? That becomes more effective. And how is efficient? Efficient is efficiency measures is how well resources are allocated to execute the process, the cost per transaction. And this measure phase, usually you have to first identify what will be the goals. Is you have to first establish where you are standing. What is the current baseline performance of the process and where you really want to move in. So finalize the business case and set the point to measure improvements from the process you used in the SIPOC. You understand the existing process conditions as it is, the sources of the problems where it is really cropping out, so that you can use one more Pareto that will be explained in the later stages. Again, you will be using a Pareto and root cause analysis, fishbone diagrams, everything. You will be put in which measurement system analysis you have to do in will be highlighted by in the later sessions. And what is the magnitude of the impact caused by the problems? Unless otherwise you collect your data properly in the correct way, using your correct measurement system, you will not be in a position to analyze it properly. Your data has to become the strong backbone for all your future stages if you really want to reach the correct solution. So you have to determine what to measure, where to measure, when to measure, how much data. You should not go in for too much of data unnecessarily, and your time is lost, cost is lost, your resources are being throttled, in fact. And information, what are the information to collect and how will you process that will answer specific questions about process performance and customer requirements? You have to be very, very careful in the measure phase. So how your measurement plan should look in, who collects the data, how often, when in the process, the recording methods, whether you'll put in the ERP or you'll use a check sheet or you'll use an MIS system, how, where, who, and how it should not become repetitive. And you have to be careful about not being repetitive or making 2-3 different persons to take the same data and then finding out, oh my God, the same data was collected at different points without knowing each other. So there should be a perfect synchronization, and how you pull the data into the central database matters a lot in a company. So you have to be very careful, and how you have to choose the tools, which are the tools that needs to be chosen will be highlighted immediately after your tea break. So that comes under the measurement system analysis. It's a mathematical procedure that will be used to identify or quantify variation. Six Sigma is all about the variation, and you want to lessen the variation, you want to remove the variation. So this particular tools comes under the measurement system analysis, where, how, when, who will be taking everything, and what are the items to be measured will be highlighted in your environment, whether which operator will be taking, with which reference they should have, whether the design document should be kept and you will be used as a reference, all that, which equipment. Not all equipments comes under your scanner, and what is the procedure of taking all that has to be perfectly fine-tuned to your team members or the persons who are going to take the data. So the item to be measured can be a physical part or document or a scenario for a customer. So who and all will be removed? The operator can refer to a person or can be different instruments or measuring the variation. Now the reference is a standard that is used to calibrate the equipment. Only if you have a reference, you can benchmark for your brainstorming session. This is how we stand. This is how it is getting variated. What is the procedure? Are these people trained regarding taking the data perfectly? And which equipment? You have to identify the equipment. If it is a vertical turret plate, there could be 7 or 8 vertical turret plates, and you are focusing on one because there's a problem recurring in that particular equipment. And which environment, whether first shift or second shift or third shift, or which plant, first plant, second plant or third plant, which assembly section is going to be under scanner or for our data collection has to be carefully analyzed so that your data is solid enough for your analysis part. And all the tools that will be used in the measurement phase will be given to you. Use it perfectly and you can see your data blooming very fantastically in front of you to give the results that can be achieved as per you would have projected in your project charter and through your CPOC. And that gives a journey to your team members to understand how important a project is to bring in so many benefits to the entire organization as well as to your department. Probably any questions, my friends? Because this will be dealt in detail after the break. Okay, then probably I'll hand it over this session, the part to Hamsapriya madam for announcing the break or.
Yes. I think we have time for the tea break.